Hey guys, um, my local comic shop had a sale over the weekend, and it'd been a while since I've been, so I thought I'd take a little while and go and take a look, see what they had. I'm glad I did. I came back with some pretty good stuff. So anyway, cat came in the room, had to get rid of him. Anyway, so here's what I picked up. Picked up Batman Confidential #1. I've always been a big Batman fan, so picked this one up. This is one I just happened to not have in my collection. Got DC Special #28. This has got 3 original stories in it from, well, anyway, it's got Batman, it's got Aquaman, and it's got the Legion of Superheroes in it, so figured I couldn't go too wrong with that, so picked that up. Anyway, oh yeah, all these books were somewhere between 75 cents and $1. I haven't gotten them figured up how much I paid for them yet. Anyway, got DC Comics Presents #13. I'm pretty sure I've got this one in my collection. Matter of fact, I'm almost certain I do, but the one that I've got was one that I bought off the shelf when it came out. So I'm sure this is an upgrade for me. So picked it up. I needed 2 issues to complete Gotham Knights run, which was number 27 and number 43. I was very happy to get these 2 because, well, I needed these 2 to complete complete the run from #1 to the last issue. So very happy to get that. Love that Batgirl cover. Homage to her first appearance back in Detective. I think it was 359. Anyway, picked up Secret Origins #1. I like Golden Age heroes, and this has got Golden Age Superman in it, so picked it up. Plus, it's written by Roy Thomas. It's got Wayne Boring and Jerry Ordway art, so couldn't go wrong with that. They had all 5 issues of this mini series put out by Marvel a couple years ago called Invaders Now. Of course, it's got the Invaders in it, as is pretty obvious. And it's a story that's set during World War II. Anyway, that's #1. #2. #3. #4. And #5. Go ahead and get rid of these. Picked up a few Daredevil also. Picked up Daredevil 292, where he fights the Punisher. And also got 293, which is the second part of that story. I've always liked the Owl as a villain in Daredevil. So, got number 301. 302. And 303. Looking forward to reading that. It might be Drek, I don't know, but for what I paid for it, it really doesn't matter. Picked up Strange Fruit by J.G. Jones and Mark Waid. I had picked up, I believe, number 2 of this miniseries a couple of months ago. And number 2 was a really intriguing story. So I saw this one, I went ahead and picked it up. Unfortunately, they didn't have number 3 or number 4, but no big deal. I'll try to find those later on. Got Amazing Heroes #85. It's got a great interview with Alan Davis, and plus it's got the conclusion of the Batman's complete biography. So And it's got a lot of other cool stuff in it. This was printed up back in the mid-'80s, so just pretty cool issue to have. Anyway, got Black Terror, Seduction of Deceit, book number 2. I picked up book number 1, it's been at least a year ago, and I enjoyed that one, and kind of wanted to see where they went with the story. The art is, it's Brereton art, and Chuck Dixon wrote it. And anyway, so since I enjoyed the first one, I thought I'd pick the second one up for cheap too. Got Batman, The Dark Knight from the New 52, number 2. Again, I'm a Batman fan, and it's got Two-Face on the front, so thought I'd pick it up. And got number 9, which is part of the Naughty Owls storyline. Picked up Astro City, number 52. I've heard some people talk about this series, that they didn't like it as basically as the series went on, the stories were not very good. But, for, less than $1, I thought I'd pick it up and judge for myself. Got Brave and the Bold, number 3, where Batman and the Blue Beetle fight the Fatal Five. Plus, it's got George Perez art. Can't pass that up. And got number 5, where Batman is versus the Legion of Superheroes. If that's true, that's going to be an interesting story. Picked up Astonishing X-Men, number 1, and no, I didn't pay $2.99. Again, all these issues were between 75 cents and $1. Picked up Identity Crisis, number 2. Tales of the Legion of Superheroes, number 316. I was stupid. I had my list with me, and they had a lot of these Tales of the Legion from about number 280 up. And for some reason, I don't know, I guess I was so busy looking through the boxes, I didn't think to pull the list, but could have gotten probably a lot more of these, but oh well, it'd be alright. Got The Spirit from Kitchen Sink Press, number 19, and number 23. I've always enjoyed Will Eisner stuff. He's always been one of my favorites. I have been fortunate enough to be able to read some of the old comic strips that they put out in those it was almost like a comic book insert that they put in newspapers back in the 40s. And I've always enjoyed that stuff, plus some of his later stuff, Contract with God, The Building, a book he put out called The Will Eisner Reader, which has got just several little vignettes in it of slice of life type thing. So pick that up on the cheap. Got Detective Comics number 18 from New 52. I wasn't gonna pay $3.99 cover price for it, but again, when you can get it for less than $1, I mean, can't go wrong with that, I guess. I have been looking for this book for a long time, and for some reason have not been able to find it. Well, I finally found number 1. This is the Complete Dracula, put out by Dynamite back several years ago. Anyway, it's really, really cool. Got Marvel Feature with The Thing and the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, it's in rotten shape, but, anytime you can get a fight between the Hulk and the Thing for less than $1, why not? Got Lone Wolf and Cub, number 3, and number 24. If you're not familiar with this series, you should be. This was put out by First Comics back in the mid-late 80s. It's basically it breaks down into shorter chapters. An epic novel that was done by the gentleman that you see names on the cover, Koike and Kojima. If you actually know how to pronounce it and I mispronounced it, I apologize. But anyway, it breaks it down into shorter chapters, and It's like Samurai Jack, if you're familiar with that TV show, cartoon. It's like Samurai Jack, except it's a lot more violent. It's really, really good. And I've been trying to pick up issues here and there, and I've gotten several issues, but I'm not close to completing it yet. But I will eventually. Got Avengers. One of the series in the early 2000s, number 33 and number 34. I mean, it's George Perez art, and it's got Count Nefaria in it, who's one of my favorite Avengers villains, so couldn't help but pick it up. Got Batman Detective Comics Annual number 12. Got Marvel Premiere number 55 with Wonder Man. I am about 90% certain I already have this book in my collection, but I also had this book as a kid, and I remember this cover just stood out to me. So it could be that I'm remembering that, but anyway, like I said, I paid less than $1 for all these books, so if I already have it, oh well. Got Green Lantern, number 9, with the Black Hand from New 52. Got number 11, and number 12. Also got number 44, with Alan Scott and Hal Jordan, and number 45. Also picked up Green Lantern number 12. I think this is from an older series. And number 16. Give me just a second. Let me reach up here on the shelf. I forgot to get these down. These 2 other books that I've also picked up while I was in town. Picked up Dracula, The Company of Monsters, Volume 2. If you are a Dracula fan, I think this was put out, by Boom Studios. If you're a Dracula fan and you like horror or horror comics, just a horror comics fan, you've got to get this. This is really, really good. I flipped through it in the store, and for the price that they had on it, I couldn't pass it up. And something I was extremely happy to find. Mad's Original Idiots, Wally Wood. This collects all of his work from Mad Comics number 1 through number 23, when I'm 99% sure it turned into Mad Magazine. Wally Wood did most of the superhero parodies in the old Mad Magazine or Mad Comics at the time. And it's just spot on stuff. I mean, just really, really cool parody superhero stuff from the early 50s. I mean, I couldn't pass that up. It was really cheap too. Anyway, that's my haul. Hopefully this time this video will upload. YouTube's been doing something really crazy. I don't know what's going on. But I couldn't get this video to upload, so I actually had to delete it and redo it. So anyway, hopefully this time it'll go in and everything will be good. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Like, comment, subscribe.